For those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we get going, if I can ask you guys, to not send me any text messages while I'm up here, because listen, when you're up here and you get a text message, it's like hitting a wall. It can be super distracting. So I'm going to ask you if you can save your comments and your questions until the end of this event. And really the best way to reach us is by joining our Discord, and you'll find the address right here on the stage right there. All right. Also, if we can ask you to stay off of the stage area here, this way nobody blocks this big display behind me and gives me a little bit of room to move around and do the whole hosting thing, right? You're going to notice in your lower left there is a menu wheel there, and at the very top of that menu wheel is a microphone icon. Now, when that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear you and everything that's happening in your environment. Now, when that microphone is red, then that means you're muted. So if somebody comes in your space and says, "Hey, are you still on that thing?" you feel free to answer them, because we're not going to hear it. Likewise, if maybe you have a barking dog in the background, you're not going to face social ruin back at the campfire by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its quest time. But just because you're muted does not mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice in your menu wheel that you have that pink cheek smiley face, and when you click on it, your emoji panel opens up in the air before you, offering you a wide variety of options with which to express yourself. So if, for example, I'm up here and I share something really meaningful and it's powerful and it starts to build up inside you, you can just let it out just like that. Maybe I got some backup dancers backstage, right? And they come out and we break into It's Quest Time the musical, and you're very impressed by the production value. You can throw up the applause that I live for, and I can take a moment to drink it all in because it feels good. If I ask you guys a yes or no question, you can say yes by smiling like this, or you can say no by frowning like that. You can, if you say something funny, you can do the silly faced emoji to show me that you're laughing, right? And then there's this thing. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis, and we're going to use this as kind of a signal. Let's say that something goes wrong during the event, like my voice goes choppy. I'm going to want to know that. Maybe my producer or my moderators have had enough and they've set the stage on fire. Don't laugh. That's happened before, and it's probably going to happen again. And if that happens, you can go like this, right? Now, if you're one of those that just keeps going like this for the whole event, whatever's happening may just be happening to you, and you might just need to re-enter the space, or it might, or it might be somebody messing around. And because of that, if it's, one of you doing that, I'm probably going to keep on going. But if it's 5 of you going like this, I know there's a problem that I probably need to address. Okay. You can press X to close the emoji panel. But it's a good idea to leave it open during events like this, because for one, it gives me feedback. It lets me know how I'm doing, but also, more importantly, it lets people around you know what you're experiencing. So if the person next to you starts going like this, right, that means they found something funny, and you may not agree. You might be like, "That's not funny at all. I'm going to go stand over here." And you can totally do that because this is VR, except you can't do it right here because we agreed that you guys weren't going to stand on the stage, and that's kind of like our bond, right? We got a sacred pact going on. You don't want to violate that. All right, let's see what kind of crowd we're dealing with today. If you are on an Oculus Quest or an Oculus 2, let me see your hands go up like this. Anybody on a Quest 2? Wow, okay. How many of you are on the original Quest? Any original Quest users here? Put your hands up like that. All right, we got to look at a couple of you. Okay, cool. How many of you are new to Altspace? If you're new to Altspace, put your hands up like this. Let me see. Oh, wow, it's a lot of new users. Well, welcome to Altspace. We've got a lot of cool stuff in here. I think you're going to enjoy it. How many of you are new to VR? Like, this is still kind of weird. Any new? Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Well, you're definitely in the right place. My kind of crowd. Excellent. All right, now, when I was waiting for my Quest to arrive, let's see, jumped ahead there. Okay, cool. When I was waiting for my Quest to arrive, I was on an Oculus Go when I first started out. And as you may or may not know, the Oculus Go has one controller, right? Now, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, so I'm used to like expressing myself with my hands. I talk with my hands a lot. But I didn't feel like in Altspace I was expressing myself as fully as I could, because in Altspace, it just looked like this. All everybody saw was that one hand going. So I couldn't wait to get this hand, right? I was really looking forward to it. And when my first Quest arrived, I started out with the original Quest. And when that first arrived, I took a look at the buttons and I was like, man, that's a lot of buttons. If you're new to VR, this is a lot to take in. It's a lot to get used to. It only takes a few days to a week or so. But you know what? When my Quest 2 arrived, I took a look at those buttons and I was like, you know what? Those are the same buttons. They really are. So there's not much difference between them. The only difference you need to worry about is on the on your controllers on the Quest 2. You have a little bit of room on the side, that they call a thumb rest. All right. I guess in case your thumb gets tired. But if you touch this thumb rest, you're going to find that your avatar's thumb goes down. If you put your hand on the buttons without pressing down, you're going to find that your thumb also goes down. And likewise, if you just touch your thumbstick, your avatar's thumb will also go down, just like that. All right. The other difference too is on the bottom of the controller, you have this rounded concave concave button. On the original Quest, that button is flat. So just for convenience, I'm going to say bottom button. All right, this way we'll be able to talk to both Quest 1 and Quest 2 users, about getting the most out of Altspace. And listen, if you're here today, because I like to go over these controls just to make sure everybody has a good handle on them. But if you're here today, you already know the basics. The left thumbstick's going to move you around like this. The right thumbstick's going to turn you in these circles. And if you combine them, you get these big elaborate circles that make my presentation so much more dramatic. Everybody go ahead and give that a try, because this way when I look out into the audience, it's going to look like you guys are ballroom dancing. Let me see what you got, people. Oh, wow, you guys look very fancy. Oh, wow, that looks awesome. I always say I wish you guys could see what this looks like, and now you can. You're going to notice floating up in the air, we've got Ravenhall right there up at the top there. That's actually our YouTube camera, and in a few weeks, this episode will go out on YouTube. So if you want to feel VR famous, just stand in front of this rug. This way you'll be in the shot and wave on up and be like, hey, YouTube, how's it going? I'm VR famous. Hey, Mom, how's it going? We got a lot of people in here. We've got Richard, we've got Bloated Dog, we've got D. Marie, we've got Salson, all right, we've got Boston. So we've got a lot of people in here. We got Hummingbird, we got Bradley, all these people in here. Want to meet any of these fine people, come on in Altspace. I think you'll enjoy it. All right, now, first button we're going to talk about here is your grip button on the side of both of your controllers here, and you're going to use this to interact with your environment in Altspace. You're going to use this to grab those bottle rackets in your home space, maybe those bean bags in a campfire, or that paper airplane. That's pretty cool. Or maybe if my backup dancers would toss me out some basketballs. If you've never tried the grip button, now's your chance. You could maybe throw these around here. There we go. Thank you, backup dancers. Here we go. Nice shot. There we go. Let's try that. So if you haven't tried that, give that a try right now. Now, if you're having a room scale experience, right, it always happens that when you walk out past your main menu in your space, when the menu goes behind you, that's usually at about the time somebody's going to ask you to open your main menu. This can get really annoying because you're going to be looking around going, where is this thing? I just saw it a minute ago. Blue and white triangle. That sounds familiar. I don't see it. Where is it? And they're like, look behind you. And you're like, oh, yeah, look, it's right there. Right? You have to remember that on Oculus Quest and on Oculus Quest 2, your main menu is in your hands at all times. You're going to notice on your left controller, that bottom button there, right there. Ooh, whoa, look at that. One of the balls just hit the stage. Look at that. Somebody made a nice shot. That was good. All right, let me throw that back out there. There we go. All right, so you're going to see that on the left controller down toward, it happened again. Or what is this, like Link to me? What's going on here? All right, I'll throw that backstage. Get away from me there. All right, so you're going to notice on your left controller, let's try, whoa, there it is again. Look at this, people. This just won't leave me alone. All right, you stop. And now the stage is laughing at me. Do you see this? This is ridiculous. All right, on the left controller, let's try this again. This time I won't point. You're going to notice that on the left controller, on the bottom button there, if you press that, your main menu is going to open up in front of you, right? And when it does, you can just press that button again, your menu will close. I like to do this with like a hand flick. I flick my hand out, my menu's open, boom, just like that. And then I flick it again, and now the menu closes just like that. It's a really convenient way to get to your menu in times when you can't see it. All right. Now, another button that you need to be aware of on your controller here is, listen, while these are a lot of buttons, some of them do the same thing. You're going to find that your right trigger button and your select button right up here, and if you have your left pointer enabled through your main menu, your left select button, these all do the same thing. So that's just like 3 buttons you don't have to worry about. If you squeeze down your right trigger right now and move your hand through the crowd, like aim at people, you're going to see everybody's name tag appear above their head, and that's how I know everybody's name so quickly. All right, so you can just kind of sweep your hand through the audience like that, and you're going to notice that all the name tags appear above them. That's how I know that's Bad Feeling in the back, and that's Smokey, and that's let's see, we've got Sunski, so I'm probably not pronouncing the names right, but there you go. Let's see, now another button you need to be aware of is on your right controller, the raised up top button is your teleport button, and this is a great way to get around Altspace. If everybody would join me along this wall right here, right, just come along here and like kind of line up like that, right? And what you do is you hold down that button, that top button on your right controller, and you aim it at the ground. You're going to see your teleport target appear right there. So if you aim it across the room toward the glass window and let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room. Everybody teleport over to me while there's still time. All right, now your left controller, if you hold down your left index finger on the left trigger, this is going to cause you to accelerate or go faster, whether you're walking or you're flying. All right, so if everybody would join me, trying to go as fast as you can, let's go into a big circle. Maybe we'll make a hurricane. We'll make it rain. We'll make like a giant whirlpool in here. Right now, some of you might be getting dizzy right now. If you're getting dizzy, you probably don't want to do that thing. Let me take a look and see how we're doing here. All right, your formation is terrible, people. This isn't circular at all. This isn't even a figure eight. I don't know what this is. All right, it's getting more circular. All right, some of you are stopping. All right, how many of you getting dizzy from this? Anybody getting dizzy? Put your hands up if you're dizzy. All right, there we go. All right, no, all right, we got Temmy Flakes is kind of like waving at it. He's kind of had it. All right, so let's see here. But yeah, when you get dizzy like this, we're going to show you actually a method to get past the dizziness. There, I see somebody's got a frowny face, so I guess they got dizzy too, huh? All right, so what you're going to see here is oh, and listen, when I first started messing with this stuff, listen, another thing you can try, right? Because I saw the frowns going up. We'll try to give you something else here. If you're holding down that left accelerator trigger, like we're doing just now, right, and you go backwards, like face the stage and go backwards, you can teleport at the ground and do kind of like the Altspace moonwalk, right? That's probably a copyright violation. I got to work on that. Another thing you can do is, listen, you'll notice I come down into the audience a lot. And there was this one time where I came down in the audience and I got crowded by a lot of people and I needed to get back up on the stage in a hurry. And then on a reflex, I went like this. Turns out you can teleport backwards. All right, who knew? Check that out. So you just put your hand over your shoulder like that and boom, you teleporting backwards. It's pretty cool. So that's an option. All right, now another thing you need to be concerned about here is, let's see here. We also have this let's see. Oh yeah. When I first started messing around with this stuff, and went to the Universe, and back then that was held in a very large world. And at the end of the event, I was looking around the world, and I went right up to the edge, and I'm looking over, and I'm going, oh, that's a long way down. And all of a sudden, I fell. And as I'm falling, I looked over, and there was a cliff over there. And what I did was I aimed my teleporter out, and I landed right on that cliff. And I knew in that moment that I was finally starting to get used to the controllers, and you will too. There's going to come a point where even though you still feel the plastic in your hands, there's going to come a point where these actually become your hands, where you're not going to think about it anymore, where all this stuff is going to become automatic. Like if I say to everybody, hey, everyone, look out that window. What's going to happen is I don't think about how I'm pointing. I just do it, right? And the way I'm doing this, if you squeeze down your grip buttons together, you're going to find that your hands go into a point, right? Now, you can use this in a variety of ways. You can kind of go like this and give me a Brooklyn hello, like that's how we do it back home. Be like, how you doing, everybody? How you doing? There we go. Very nice. If you put them together like this, you can make kind of a triangle, like the Altspace logo, right? Put them up nice and high and show me some Altspace pride, just like that. Oh, that looks awesome. Look at that. That's cool. All right. Maybe we twist them together, make a camera, like a picture frame like that, right? Maybe we squeeze our triggers, like to get a little snap action going on there so we can remember this moment forever. How cool would it be to take screenshots like this? That's pretty cool. Another thing you can do is you hold your grip and your trigger buttons together and give me 2 thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing a good job. Maybe I'm not. Give me 2 thumbs down. Maybe you don't know yet. Give me a little bit of both, right? Now, I've seen people do this. I don't know what that means. If you look over your trigger buttons, though, you make kind of a W. That's pretty neat. One of the first quest times we ever had, somebody came up to the stage and they were going like this, right? And so I did it back. And then the whole audience started going like this, right? And I thought it was cool. So I started, doing it too, right? And everybody in the room was doing it. And listen, this is the best way to pick this stuff up. If you see somebody doing something that you like, a gesture that you like, just copy it, mirror it, and make it your own. And before long, you'll be doing this stuff without even thinking about it. It just takes a little bit of practice, and in about a week or so, you're going to be doing this all automatically. All right, now let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, yeah, there's a very important button on your right controller, but don't touch it now, because if you do, you're going to disappear. And if you disappear, I'm going to really feel it, like right here, right? But on your right controller, down toward the bottom, you have this, that bottom button right there. And you got to think of this as kind of your eject button. Really, it's the best way to at least get out of Altspace. So let me talk about something else, because I just saw Boss B jump up in the air like that. Everybody see Boss B right there? No, go back up, Boss B. That's going to be super helpful. All right. Now, in Altspace, you have to worry about your vertical height. All right. So if you find that you feel like taller than everybody else, like let's say Boss B's like up there and feeling kind of awkward about it. Boss B, go back up. Go back up. All right. Now we'll show everybody what happens if you press down your left thumbstick. Like just press down on that left thumbstick and show everybody what happens. Boom. You see how he snapped into place like that, right? That's a good way to adjust your vertical height if you're feeling, taller or shorter than everybody else. And it's a quick way to adjust that. You could also make minor adjustments. And remember, this movement is attached to your head. So if you're like, if you're looking down like this and you press down your left thumbstick, you're going to find that your avatar pops up a little bit, right? If you look up like this and press down your left thumbstick, what's going to happen is you're going to be a little bit shorter than everybody else. But if you want to be the same height as everybody, right? The official Altspace height, right? Just look straight ahead and press down that left thumbstick like it's a button, because it is, and then you'll snap right into place like that. All right, cool. Now, this bottom button on your right controller, again, think of this as like kind of an eject button. It's your best route out of Altspace. So if somebody comes into your space and says, hey, dinner's ready, you'll be like, oh, gotta go. And you hit that button, and then all you do is press quit, and you'll be fine. Your avatar won't be like stranded somewhere, right? But this is also a good button to push when things go wrong, all right? So let's say I tell everybody, I say, hey, look out that window, right? And as I turn my head, right, I look back, and the whole world moves with me, right? When an error like this happens, it can make you feel really dizzy. And when that happens, it pays to know how to get out of Altspace in a hurry. So you would hit that eject button on your right controller, that bottom button right there. Then you would press quit, and then you could restart the app. And this is going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to have in Altspace. But very occasionally, something more severe might happen. Like, let's say I look out the window again, but this time when I look, I see a black edge on my screen, right? And I go, oh no, the void. And then I look back, on this side, outside and there's a black edge all around the top, all the bottom, and it's spreading, and all of you find people are all frozen in space like this very dramatically, right? When something like this happens, I go to press that eject button, and then nothing happens. And the screen is still frozen like that. Now, when that happens, this doesn't just happen in Altspace. This happens in other apps as well. And when that occurs, your device is frozen, and you're probably going to be like, Michael Forrest lied to me. You're pressing on the eject button, and nothing's happening, right? The best thing to do in a instance like this is to restart your headset. And I used to take my headset off to restart it. But you'll find that if your headset isn't in a charge cycle and you plug it in and you're not getting that light, and it's taking a while to start up because you're in a hurry to get back in, this can make you think your device is broken. So it pays to know how to restart your headset while it's still on your head. Now, the way you do this is you take your index finger of your right hand and swipe it along the side of your device until you feel that raised up power button. And when you do, take the index finger of your left hand. This way you create a counterbalance. You don't end up sliding your headset all over your face. That's not comfortable. All right. You take your left finger like this. So you kind of squeeze them together. And I find it helps to look down like you're in a deep concentration pose. And after about 4 seconds, you concentrate so hard, your avatar disappears and you get plunged into the darkness, but you don't let go. You just hang on, right? And after about 10 seconds, you start wondering, man, why did Oculus make it take so long? It takes a long time for this. After about 15 seconds go by, you start thinking about friends you haven't seen in a while. You wonder how they're doing. 20 seconds go by and you start thinking about life. You start asking the big questions, right? You're wondering how everyone's doing and all that stuff. And after about 20-something seconds go by, out of the darkness, the Oculus logo will emerge like the bat signal, right? And when it starts to pulse, you might even hear the Oculus tone. All you do is take your hands away like that. All right. And when you do, your device is going to start normally. And this is going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to have, not just in Altspace, but in other apps as well. Right. Very occasionally, something more severe might happen. Like a couple of weeks ago, actually about a month ago now, I came onto the stage and I'm like, hey, everybody, my name is Michael. And I disappeared. And I was looking at the Oculus home screen. And I'm like, what's going on? Right. So I came back into Altspace and I was like, I don't know what's going on, everybody. Sorry. It was coming on some kind of an error. And then all of a sudden, I was back at the home screen again. Something serious was going on. So I uninstalled Altspace, I reinstalled Altspace, and it kept on happening. Every event I went to, I was just gone within 2 minutes, right? So what I did was I did a factory reset. Now, when you do a factory reset, well, that's weird. I'm seeing emojis coming out of the air, but there's no avatar there. That's very strange. But I came back into Altspace with it, I did this factory reset. Now, when you do a factory reset, you have to be mindful of the fact that any pictures you have saved on your device, you're going to lose, right? You're going to have to re-download all of your apps again. Good news is you're not going to have to pay for them, right? Another thing to be mindful of, though, is when you do this, a lot of your settings that you've had in some of your apps, like for instance in Altspace, if you've got those blinders turned off, right? Those circles that go around the edge of the screen when you move, supposed to cut down on dizziness. I found it actually added to dizziness. But let's say you have that turned off and you do a factory reset, well, you're going to lose those preferences, and you might even lose your Beat Saber scores. Okay, so this is serious business, people. All right, but it's good to know that option is there. Now, listen, if you're here today, you're already familiar with the Guardian system. You dance with the robot, you played with the blimp. That's a lot of fun, right? But I'm going to show you how you can use your Guardian system to your advantage in Altspace. But first, when we did that circle before, how many of you actually experienced dizziness? Anyone ever feel dizzy in VR? Put your hand up if you ever feel dizzy in VR. All right, wow, all right, look at that. Now, one thing that you can do if this happens to you is take a good look at your hand. Put that hand right in front of your face. And I know that hand is not your real hand, but you know what? If you focus on that hand, you're going to find that actually helps. Having that focal point, right, will actually make the dizziness pass, right? And as soon as the dizziness starts to pass, take in the world around you, right? And that can help a lot. But, you can also use your Guardian system for this purpose too, right? I always like to tell people when they mess around with their Guardian system to be very careful, because a lot of times in Altspace, you'll see somebody walking along, they're having a good day, and then all of a sudden, bam, they hit a real world wall. Now, those real world walls are an absolute menace and they need to be stopped. All right. So, but, what you can do is always lead with your hands when you're, especially if you're new to VR, lead with your hands when you're going around your space like that. And let's say right now I walk up to my real world wall, right? And I've got my hands out, right? And as soon as that grid appears in the air in front of me, right, I can still move my thumbsticks around, right? So I can move my avatar around while I'm standing still in the real world, right? So what I can do is I can line up my real world wall with something like this display here, right? And when I do that, I'm going to feel anchored and connected to the real world, because I know right over there is my real world wall right now. And I back up a little bit more, I back up, and all of a sudden I've fallen off the stage, and oh no, I'm in the audience. Now let's say you guys aren't a nice crowd. All right, let's say you want to mess with me. Everybody come on over here and just mess with me. Stick your hands in my face. Give me a hard time. Try to make me dizzy and try to mess me up as best you can. I mean, troll me beyond trolling. All right, no one is going to kick you. Let's see what you got here. All right, and as long as I can see that screen, all right, as long as I feel connected there, I'm connected to the real world, and nothing you guys can do can really throw me off. You're going to find I'm not messing up my words. I'm not messing up my sentences. It's like you guys aren't even doing anything here. To be honest with you, you're not even trying. I've had much worse groups than this. Give me a little spin action or something, man. You guys you aren't even trying. All right, look, at the end of you can do something else too. Like, you see the edge of the stage here? You can line this up with your real world table, your real world desk, just to have that frame of reference. And that frame of reference can really help you a lot if you experience dizziness in VR. It's going to make you feel more connected. I like to think of it as like a reality anchor. You could also transition between a room scale experience and a stationary experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace. You're going to notice, like I'm up here and listen, I've done over 500 events in Altspace. I have, and I'm exhausted. I need to sit down. I'm tired, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the edge of my space, right? And I'm going to stick my hands out, and when that grid appears, I'm going to make sure I got enough room for my head to pass through it. And when I stick my head through, just like that, my pass-through camera goes off, and I can see the real world through the pass-through camera. Now, also under experimental features, they have this thing where you can do like a double tap with your finger on the side of your headset, and then it'll activate your pass-through camera. So you can do that too. I'll be like, tap, tap, and I'll see, oh, look, I got my coffee cup right there. Take a sip of that, throw that down, and I'm going to have to clean that up later. I need to stop doing that, right? And then I got my chair right over there. So what I can do is I can walk on over, to my chair, and as soon as I get to my chair, I can turn around, and I can sit down in that chair, and I'll have this blue button in front of me asking me if I want to have a stationary experience. And I'm like, yeah, I want to have a stationary experience. So I press that blue button, and the grid comes up, and I find that not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never actually left. All right. So that works that way. It also works in the other direction too. Let's say that, there was this one time I was moderating an event, and I felt like getting up and walking around, and I figured, that'd be cool to do. So I get up, and I thought I was just going to walk right into my Guardian. Now, sometimes your Quest can lose your Guardian due to changing light levels, or for one reason or another, it can't resolve where it is in your space fast enough. So it just asks you to draw a new boundary out, which normally isn't a big deal. But let me tell you, when there's 2 minutes left in the event, it's a very big deal. So I start drawing out my boundary, right? And I'm like, why is my space so big? And I don't know. And I'm drawing it out there. And I'm like, of all the times I had to moderate for an admin, why did it have to be today, people? Why? And then all of a sudden, the grid comes up out of the ground, right? And I find that not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace, right? So this is good to know. Like, if you're at an event and, the host is getting you really charged up, you're like, wow, I had no idea Quest Time was going to be so exciting. This is awesome, right? I need to get up and move around. You can do that. All right, just be careful. All right. Or maybe, I didn't realize this guy was going to talk for 20 minutes. What's up with that? All right. Well, then you can sit down if you want. All right. And the only thing you need to worry about is when you sit down and stand up, your avatar's height is going to change in this space as well. So if you sit down, your avatar is going to get lower. If you stand up, your avatar is going to get taller. And you guys know from before, you just press down on your left thumbstick like it's a button, because it is. And all of a sudden, your height will be adjusted. And then you just go on, continue on in Altspace as normal. So you'll be comfortable. And that's good to know. Another thing that you can do, and this isn't useful, this is just cool, is if you go up to the edge of your space and you look and you make sure you got enough room for your head to pass through, right? And you look through there and your pass-through camera goes off. If you try doing this really slow, there's a sweet spot where you can see both realities at the same time. And this is fun because this gives you a sense of, for example, how tall Altspace avatars actually are. They're about 6 feet tall, and they're a lot wider than you might think. And this doesn't really, strike home with you until you've seen them at home, or, or maybe, in your office, or, your living room, wherever it is you VR from. When you see the avatars in a familiar environment, it really adds something to it. Like, my mom comes into Altspace a lot, and she was, I told her about this trick, and she tries it, and she's like, you're standing in my kitchen right now. So she saw my avatar in her kitchen. It was pretty cool. All right, so let's see here. Now, listen, one of the great things about the Quest is it just works. This doesn't mean it can't work better. There's a lot of great accessories that can really improve the experience. And if you'd like to try any of the accessories that we recommend, you can find them by going to altvr.com and pressing on that link at the top left that says channels. Now, there you're going to see all these wonderful Altspace event channels listed out before you. And down toward the bottom, not that that means anything, at least that's what they tell me, you're going to see Ravenhall events listed there. And when you click on Ravenhall events, you'll be taken to our event channel. And there you can join our Discord if you like. You'll see the recommended products on the left-hand side. And in the upper right, you'll find the most important button on the internet, right? That's the subscribe button. And when you press on the subscribe button, it lets Altspace know that you enjoy our content. We don't get paid to do this. So every time we see that number goes up, it makes us feel good. Feels even better when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe to your channel, you're going to find, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you're going to find links to the products that we recommend in the description below there. All right. Now, listen, we are going to be taking your questions. If you've tried any accessories for the Quest to, I'd like to hear about it. Or if you have any questions about your Altspace or your device, I'd like to take those. And the way we're going to do this is you're going to see on your lower right is a raise hand button that's going to appear as if by magic. It's true. That's what magic looks like in VR. All right. And now if you press that, your raise hand button in your lower right, it's going to turn blue. And then I'll call your name and I'll feel like a radio show host. And while we wait for that to fill up, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can find us at Ravenhall VR. All right. Let's see. We got 2 people on here already. Let's see. We got, somebody just pressed it maybe by accident. All right. We've got, I can't see the full name, but it looks like Matt Nera. I think I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. So my question to you is, how do I say your name? There we go. Are you out there?
Hello. Yep.
Hi.
Hello.
How do I say your name?
Mateen.
Mateen. Okay, there we go. Oh, hi, Mateen. How are you today? You good?
Good. Good
All right, excellent. You got a question
today.
for us?
What's this shark for here?
Oh, the shark. I'm glad you asked that. I was just about to get into that. All right. This is my friend and co-host Sharky. All right. And we actually use Sharky in another event of ours called It's Shark Time. It's a game show where we actually give away world building kits as prizes. And the next one we're going to have is this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Come check us out. You'll find us in the events tab of your main menu. But yeah, that's what we do. And the reason he's here with us today is because during one of our shows, we asked our contestants, how can we bring Sharky around to check out my other events? The events that I have on land, right? And one of the contestants said, get a travel tank. And I was like, travel tank, yeah? All right, that's a good idea. And ever since then, I bring Sharky to all of my events. And sometimes I forget he's there. And everyone's like, wow, this is a really good show, but what's the deal with the shark? And that's what the deal is with the shark there. All right, let's see. We also have, Death Hawn. I can't see the full name there, but let's see. You're out there? Yeah. Death came for me today. Oh, Death Hunter. Okay, well, there we go. So you're hunting death. All right, cool. What's up? You have a question for us?
I've seen some other people make their own worlds. Is there a class, I guess, on how to make your own world?
Occasionally, you're going to see world building classes come up, but really the best thing you could do is go to the SDK meetup on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You'll see it in the in your events tab or your main menu, and there they're going to teach you not just about world building, but how to bring objects into Altspace, through an app called Unity. So yeah, but occasionally you're going to see world building classes pop up. There's also some videos about it on YouTube. It's not that tough to get started, and if all you have to do is go into your main menu right there, your blue and white triangle, go over to settings, and now on the very top category on the left hand side, you'll see where it says general. You're going to see that there's on the option in the center panel, this is enable worlds beta. Once you turn that on, also if you do participate in an early access program, if you turn that on too, that's going to give you access to a lot of world building kits, and it's going to give you a new tab called worlds. And in there, you're going to notice when you go in there, you're going to find that you have a world in there automatically. When you go into my worlds, you're going to find that you have Death Hunter's world. And you go in there, and then you're going to see you have the world editor in your lower right. You can open up the world editor and start placing objects right away. And it's actually pretty simple. All you do is place an object and get that object where you want. And as soon as that object is where you want, right, place another object, and then another one, and then another one. And before you know it, you're going to have a world of your very own to hang out with your friends or to host events in. So you absolutely get started that way. But you will see, if you check the events calendar, you're going to see there's a lot of world building events that happen and pop up from time to time. All right, let's see. We got also time for one more here. We've got Paul Laff. What's going on, Paul? You're on the air. What's going on?
Every time I try to activate Discord, I get an email, but by the time the email comes, it says I'm timed out.
Okay. Now, when you try to activate Discord, meaning when you're trying to sign up for Discord?
Yep.
All right, so as soon as you get the email to verify your email, right, it times out before you can fully register.
Yes. By the
right.
time the emails arrived.
I would try a couple of things. It may be, are you in a place where you have slow internet?
No.
No? All right, so it's not that. All right, one thing you could do, if you could clear your browser history or delete any cookies, that might help. That might be a good way to do that. Also, if that doesn't work, the first thing I would do is I would reach out to Discord and I'd go to the support and I'd tell them, look, I'm trying to sign up, but it times out, and they'll probably be able to, help you out there. That's what I would do if it were me, and so that can help that. All right, everybody. At the end of our events, what I do is I press this button on the side of the stage here, this Talon call button. Now, when I press this, direct your attention out the window here, because you're going to see a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft fly down the street and up over those trees, and it's going to meet us back outside and take us out to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. And at the Flight Academy, we're going to teach all of you how to fly. If you haven't learned how to fly in Altspace, we're going to show you how. If you have any questions about Altspace, we'll be happy to take those. So I'm going to go ahead and press this button. So everybody direct your attention out the window right there, and let's watch what happens.
Ravenhall Talon aircraft en route to your position.
Now, this is a Talon hovercraft. This is an aircraft that you can actually fly in Altspace. And if you'd like to give it a try, come out and join me by going out through this doorway here. And as soon as we get outside there, you're going to see it land in there. But listen, if you've learned anything here today, please share it with those you come in contact with. So if you see somebody down low on the ground, you're like, what's wrong? And they're like, I'm on a quest and I'm stuck on the ground. You tell them to push down on that let them stick like it's a button, because it is. They'll pop up and they'll feel better. You'll feel better because you help somebody. And that's how we keep this thing going. All right, here it is.
Talon aircraft is now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. You've been a great audience, and I'll see you next time.